All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. We're missing Naoto today, but welcome to Naoto's Nerdy Power Hour. Today we're covering 10 tips for sharpening single-bevel knives. And I think Naoto's just had a horrific accident and won't be with us today. So I'll be teaching your sharpening class today. Hope that's okay with everyone. There he is. You okay?
Hey, last minute shipping. And
oh, we just got something delivered to the warehouse. If you didn't know this and you're watching, Naoto streams from our warehouse, so sometimes there's a bit of unexpected background noise.
Yeah, sorry about that. And there will be some noise. Today's pretty windy, so you probably hear some wind noise and stuff like that, maybe.
A little bit of whistling, maybe. Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Welcome to Naoto's Nerdy Power Hour.
Good.
And Blank's praying for you, which I'm happy to hear. One like equals one prayer, so make sure you like the video.
And good news, everyone. Today we have another camera working, and the sound is fantastic, I believe. So,
boom.
Yeah, we don't see any of those the howling sound. And yes, I'm drinking a beer. Today we have one of our staff. Today's the last day for one of our staff at the warehouse. So to celebrate, we just grabbed the beer. Drinking this beer called Wabi-sabi.
Oh.
Highline Brewing. It's our neighbor brewery in Calgary, and they do a collaboration with us too. Hey.
Yeah, Buzzcut. It's made with honey from the beehives that we sponsor through ABCBs, and it is maybe my favorite beer I've ever had. It's definitely my favorite locally made beer that I've ever had.
This Wabi-sabi is the little hint of yuzu, the Japanese citrus. It's really nice, refreshing. It's not sour beer, but it's a really nice, refreshing citrus beer. So it's great for the days like this, the 20 degrees outside. I don't know wherever you are. It's getting nicer where we live right now. So it's
gorgeous outside today. Well, and actually, the beer you're drinking was also a little bit inspired by Knifewear, I believe. JJ, the head brewer, said he really loved how that Japanese concept of wabi-sabi, how things kind of change as they age, and his Japanese kitchen knife does that, and so his brewing process is he's always kind of updating and improving his recipe, and so that was the inspiration for the wabi-sabi using the yuzu in it.
Yeah. Yep.
So, what are we covering today, Naoto? What's our topic of the week?
So today, I wanted to cover full single-bevel sharpening today, but the before getting into like super huge sharpening on the yanagiba, which is the more traditional sashimi slicing knives, or deba or usuba, wanted to cover something a lot more easier to sharpen and get the full concept of the sharpening a single-bevel, which great to have. This is great example. It's called kiridashi. Some people call it kiridashi shoto. Shoto means small sword, but kiridashi. So this is great example of what the how the construction, the single bevel construction is made out of, and how you want to sharpen them. And it's great practice. If you haven't sharpened any single bevels before, this is great practice doing that. So we do sell them in our website. If you actually go on website Kiridashi, all of these probably will be going on the sale on the grass. So I think we just have them there.
And because I'm a real smart guy, I actually took off the garage sale tag so that you can buy them now. And I even put a link in the description before this video. So if you, because you might not want to start, practicing sharpening on your prized yanagiba, or in the case of Rob, he just tuned in. I see his comment there, and just got a kiridashi. But Rob also has a beautiful usuba that's very significant to him, and maybe he doesn't want that to be the first single bevel he sharpens. So what are those kiridashis, like $44 Canadian?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great little tool. It's basically like a lifetime X-Acto knife, and you'll need to sharpen it lots anyways, so might as well use that for practice.
Absolutely. So kiridashi is this traditional Japanese, a single bevel blade that is used for many stuff. Like you can do a small crafts, like a little bit of wood carvings, paper carvings. You can even use it for fruit carvings. Also, this shape of blade resembles to the Osaka style eel knife, although it's a little bit more blunt. So you can sharpen them to make it look like a Osaka style eel knife as well. So there are a lot of applications into this small blade here. So, and it can be very expensive. We have some super cool kiridashis coming up for our garage sale. I'll show off next a little while later. But so those, so sorry, I was away a little bit. Did you do the other announcements before I
didn't go over the news of the week yet. But so maybe I'll do that before we get heavy into the sharpening comments. Yeah. Last week we had so many great questions that we barely managed to sharpen a knife. So maybe I'll try to interrupt you a bit less this time earlier in the show, and you can kind of focus on technique for the first little while, and then I'll maybe hold customer or viewer questions that aren't directly related to what you're doing, and we'll get back to them a little later in the show. As as always, we'll be on for about 2 hours today, folks. If you pop open a beer or a soda and have a drink with us. And happy Friday. So cheers, everyone. I'm enjoying a little bit of scotch from our boy Jeevan off in Vancouver. What do I have for news? So first of all, we've started off this new thing in the last couple of weeks that viewers have been sending us photos of the sharpening jobs they've been doing. People like James Wang and Blank and Yusik showing off either a knife they've polished or their stone collection, or maybe sending something in for some constructive feedback, especially if you're maybe new to advanced sharpening techniques. So if anybody has a photo of a knife that they recently sharpened that they'd like to show off, or something sharpening related, send it to nathan@knifewear.com. And we'll show it off later in the show. We love getting viewer submissions. I've also got a viewer question that we'll tackle later on in the show. But yeah, we'd love to see your work. Beyond that, we've got the Knifewear garage sale happening. It's an annual event that happens twice a year. And basically, it's when we bring back all sorts of crazy and unusual stuff from Japan and have a big sale of knives that we don't normally get to carry, one-of-a-kinds, prototypes, knives from new makers, some really, really, really great deals. So that's going to be happening. Oh, and Naoto's got a little preview that he'll show off later in the show. So stay tuned for that. We'll have a little garage sale preview. So the garage sale is May 17th to 24th. It starts online at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. Very important if you want something specific to get online at 8 a.m. and just grab it then. But we'll also have a big kind of marathon stream, which we do every Monday of the garage sale, starting at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, running for probably 6 or 8 hours, where we show off knives that are on sale, answer questions if you want to know how much it weighs, what the height is at the heel, all the kind of nerdy details that a lot of us knife nerds like to get into, as well as just some general questions for Kevin and the rest of the team. So that'll be on the Monday. We'll have lots of live streams coming up kind of the week before and the week during the garage sale. So lots of extra content then. And yeah, it should be a fun time. It's just an exciting time of year. Even if you're just looking for a little stone or a little new pocket knife, we're gonna have a lot of cool stuff. Naoto's been working very hard sourcing exciting things for us. Before the garage sale on May 10th is the second episode of Sharp Knives Rock. That's our new show. I imagine everybody watching right now probably saw the first episode. So episode 2, we're going to cover the garage sale, talk about kind of the stories behind how it started, and talk about our travels to Japan. Naoto's got a great video on chopsticks. There's some odd-looking chopsticks you have there, Naoto. So we're going to be talking about that and lots more. A really fun challenge coming up soon on that episode, and we're going to improve our camera quality and our stream quality too. The first episode was pretty rough looking, so we've got a way better camera for that, and a way higher quality camera or video. What am I trying to say? Higher quality computer for streaming, with a lot more fancy RAM and graphics card. So that episode will be much higher quality. Yeah, and then I think I'll get into the rest of the news later on in the show, so I don't bore everyone too much. What do we got, Naoto? What are we doing today?
So again, I am sharpening this little tool called kiridashi, traditional Japanese single-beveled knife that is, made out of one side really soft steel, the other side hard steel. As you can see on the camera right here, it's actually pretty good, decent quality. There, make it that big.
There.
Woo. Yeah, here. So this angle is great. As you can see, around that, like how it reflects right now, it's super shiny, right? This here is called uraoshi. Basically, it's a flat part that is going to touch on the stone super flat. Other parts, the middle part right here, is actually called urasuki, which means it's actually got a little bit of concave. It's a little bit low right here. Very traditional single bevel construction. Few reasons why they do actually a little bit of concave right here is that, one, you don't have to remove that much of steel off, right? You have to just remove this much, where if it's all hard steel, super flat, it's very hard to remove the steel.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because a single bevel blade like that, it's just soft steel on one side, hard steel on the other side, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got some good discussion in the comments going on because a few folks have been sharpening chisels lately. And Trevor said he just did his first one and had some challenges. And Yusuk was talking about them being, said, I never knew they were different steels side to side. So I imagine learning to sharpen a chisel and sharpening a chisel in general is very similar to what you're doing today.
Yeah. The chisel sharpening, I would do a little bit more precise. So when it comes to the precision of sharpening, kitchen knives are actually, it needs a really good edge, but kitchen knives, it's a little bit more like, so there are very traditional single bevels, like, say, chisels. Japanese chisels definitely are very traditional single beveled blade. Another one that's really, really famous and hard to sharpen is a plain blade. They are made out of the very similar construction, and it has the concave in the back. They call it the itoura, or the thread back. So this uraoshi part should be as thin as thread.
Wow.
But the reason is that, what are you doing with the plane? What are you doing with a planer? You're trying to make the surface of the wood as flat as possible, right? So you want to actually sharpen the edge as flat as possible. 2, you want to have the wood set up as flat as possible. 3, you have to again set the edge flat as possible. Like, that is super precise. It really requires lots of adjustment in order to get the perfect cut. Where kitchen knives, we can make it really sharp, but at the same time, though, if you think about it, it's, you're cutting into something relatively soft, right? So you don't need that much of precision per se. But these kiridashis, chisels, are a fantastic example and a great tools to practice on. Okay?
Cool.
Hopefully that makes sense. So in order to get the precision on those knives, I want to make this piece of tool, sharpening stone, as flat as possible, right? This is a Kensho 1000. I really like this stone, the Kensho Itadaki series, white stone, vitrified, very hard. They are made to become the ruler, or the it tells you what your knife or the blade condition is like.
It's like a baseline test, right? Yeah.
But in order to make this a baseline, you have to chew them super good.
Right. Now, one of the things on my list of topics to cover today because we got lots of news. This piece of paper is full. I believe you said we're getting some diamond plates back in soon, right? Because we've been out of stock for a while.
Some Toma diamond plates are coming back in stock soon. We just got a notification from the supplier that they're on its way. They'll probably be available sometime next week, which is great.
Yeah, that's fantastic news.
Alrighty, so this particular stone here, super nice and white. Here we go.
Boom.
Nice and white Kensho 3000 Itadaki series. This is great base stone that I'm just going to see if the back that look like flat is actually flat.
Right.
So just gonna put it, and these ones here are sharp. The back bevel is sharpened out somewhere around to here. So I can just generously put that on the, like this.
Yep.
Okay. I can have them right here. 1 second. Can adjust the camera angle. Better. That's close. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to have on them here. And just a few strokes first. See where it's touching. This black marks right here is a place that's actually touched on this one here, right? Although I'm pressing it down flat on here, right?
Yep.
And do a couple of strokes. See here? It's only touched right here. And if you check on the blade, you can actually tell. I don't know if you can. Oh.
Yeah, that looks great.
It touches this part. Oops. Come on.
Maybe move it back just a little bit. Sometimes it can't focus quite so close. But so it's focusing on the outer sides there and not in the middle.
Yeah. So it's not really touching right now. So I'm going to few reasons for it's not the reason why it's not touching. One, it may not be as straight. So sometimes I fix them. Sometimes it just really needs a bit more work.
And shameless plug, if you want to learn how to straighten a knife, there's a YouTube video on our channel for that.
Or you can just do a little bit longer, a little bit more until it starts to touch, but it removes quite a bit of steel off. This is good example here.
And just a reminder for if anybody didn't pick up on it earlier, or if you haven't seen, I mean, Naoto does this almost every episode, but if you're a new viewer, Naoto's not really sharpening here. He's just gauging how flat the edge is and kind of what amount of work he needs to do.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Your eyes aren't always good at telling you if something's actually straight or if it's actually flat.
Yes. Thank you. So here, starting to get a little bit better. It starts to widen. You can actually see them like this. Oh, kind of still see them. It widens. It's dark here.
Yep.
Here, but it's still not touching right here. It is quite windy today.
It's very windy here too. All the doors in my house are rattling. Hope everyone else is getting nice weather. I was gonna sit on the patio all day today and do my work on my laptop, but it's all my notes were blowing around, and
yeah,
I was afraid my laptop was gonna blow away. Now, hey, Fighting Usic's got a great point. Should really mention this to everyone. There's 20 people watching the video, and there's only 10 likes. So, I mean, everyone that's already liked the video, thank you. You're awesome. But come on, guys, give the video a like. We'd seriously appreciate it. And while you're at it, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Thank you.
And I know it's the thing that every person on YouTube says, but it really helps. It really helps us continue to do this for a living and justify to Chris and Kevin that it's worth paying us to spend time on video. Oh no, Rob said it snowed in Ontario today. I'm sorry, Rob.
I'm sorry. So this, if you look at your own eyes, this may not be as clear, but this tip part here, right, like from where my index finger to the tip, it's actually not touching at all. Probably the reason is that it's not flat, so I have to press them a little bit. Sometimes you have to skip them. If you are sharpening chisels, if you're sharpening plane blades, you want to make sure that that part is super flat, because that flatness reflects the edge flatness, right? But when you're sharpening a super long yanagi or the slicer, often it's not that flat. As much as you spend like $2-3 grand, it's not flat. Unfortunately, that is truth. That is going to happen. So sometimes you have to, flex your muscle a little bit to flatten them and make it straight. But oftentimes it doesn't do as good. So sometimes it's how it is. So you have to press it down a little bit here where it's not touching. And sometimes force that place to touch on the stone here as well. You
get that with vintage straight razors sometimes, because
I
would say more than 50% of vintage straight razors are not straight.
Right.
And so you end up with kind of a really uneven, wonky edge if you're not careful. And so often you have to almost flex the razor a bit as you're sharpening, or you have to, there's a few ways you can kind of fake it, but you have to really kind of coerce the blade to doing what you want.
Right. Yeah, I know. That's a little tough, right? So
Corey Phillips says, what's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in, Corey. And Craig's in Halifax says it's 6 degrees with wind and rain. I'm sorry to hear that, Craig. But I hope your kimchi is going well. Hope you're loving your Moritaka Mega Nikiri.
Right. Alrighty. So what I'm gonna do today, just gonna work on the back until I get a little bit more evener finish from the look. And a little bit of tip. When you are flattening the back side of these knives, do not use anything super coarse. This is 3000 grit. I wouldn't go any.
Wow. And is that just because you don't want to actually flatten the back? Like, obviously you want those contact points to line up, but you don't want to remove that concavity from the back of the
Exactly. And also what I don't want to increase basically is that this part right here at the edge here.
Yeah.
I can't see them here.
Yeah, there we go.
The flat part right here is called a lot of people call it ito-ura. Ito means thread, ura means the back. So this line here should be as thin as the thread.
Right. So you said that even a $3,000 single bevel knife often isn't as flat as you would want. Why is that? Why is that? Because of the amount of labor, like the sheer amount of labor that's required, or
sheer amount of labor that requires, and also the oftentimes they don't when they do uraoshi, they do this kiridashi is great for, we call it uraoshi, because whole blade touches on the one stone, right? So it can touch like super flat on the blade. Where, say for example, when I have the deba, usually they do it this way. They do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they do by sections. So maybe this part is flat, this portion is flat, this portion is flat, this portion is flat, and this may be flat. But the whole entire blade could warp a little bit.
Yeah, gotcha.
So from the look, it may look really, really good. Often though, when you put that on the like super flat stone in one direction, you find that it's not as straight. Also, time. If you leave your knife, or if you because these knives again are made with the softer steel and the harder steel, two different types of steels, right? They sometimes kind of warp in different rates. So they pull to the one side and another.
Right, because they're fighting against each other, right? As they're contracting or expanding there. Yeah. Yeah, it's like when you put like a steak in a pan to sear, and then it kind of contracts and curls up.
Yeah.
Do you mind just moving the stone back away from the camera a little bit, Naoto? Sometimes it has trouble focusing that close. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Alrighty. So here, starting to actually look pretty flat, except one spot, like right color. Come on. Wait. I have to move.
Yeah, I can see there's a bit of a difference in the reflection on that point.
Right here. It's your decision, your sharpener's decision to stop where you want to stop. Sometimes this is again, it's not that super expensive kiridashi. Again, it is great practice though, right? So you can decide when to stop, because you can do all the way. It's right.
Yeah.
I may just gonna do a really quick job on the similar stone, but 1000 grit, to do a little bit of faster grinding job at the tip.
Just to speed things up a little bit, hey?
Yeah.
So while you're doing that, I'm gonna pop a few questions in here.
Yeah.
Thanks for everyone. It looks like we got some new viewers tuning in, so good to see you. Let's see. Question number one. Otto Hunkala says, "Hi all. What grit do you usually start and stop at with the kiridashi?" So
the usually starts from this stone for uraoshi or uradashi to make sure that the back is flat. 3000 grit to get the backside done. Then go back down to really coarse. Like probably I'll do 220 grit, 1000. Maybe finish at 4000 or even finer. It really depends on what you like to do with these kiridashis. Often the chisels, plain blades, I would definitely go super, super fine. It depends on what you are doing with the kiridashi. That's the question that you may want to ask yourself as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, if you're going to shave with it, you probably want to take it up to 10 or 12,000 grit. But if you're going to cut a cardboard box, maybe 800 or 1,000 is fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's kind of the case with any. I mean, we talked about this many times, but with any sharpening job you're doing, what's the end goal?
Yeah.
Not a question, just a great comment from an experienced sharpener. Fighting U6 says, "If anyone thinks their knives are flat, just wait until you start Just wait until the first time you try thinning."
Yeah. Yep.
Actually, I wanted to take that as a sec to plug our new video that just came out on Wednesday. Naoto put together a great video called "How to Fix and Thin a Chipped Knife." And so basically, he takes a knife that Mike chipped in a previous video on a chicken bone, teaches you how to remove the chip as well as maintain the profile. I imagine some of the folks watching, know how to do this, but for anyone who's maybe a less experienced sharpener or just working on some of the more advanced techniques, this video is going to be really great to show you how to remove a chip, because there's a lot of ways to do it that can change the profile of your knife and cause problems. So really reliable method. And then most importantly, how to thin your knife after you fix a chip. Because a lot of sharpeners don't do that. They just grind out the chip and then they give you your knife back and you just, go back to cutting stuff. And you want to thin it at least somewhat because it's just going to cut like an axe otherwise. So Naoto goes through that kind of 3-step process of chip removal, thinning, and then finally sharpening the edge.
Yeah. So here I managed to flatten the back a bit more. I'm actually gonna do this. Okay, here. Yeah, nice. Looks good. Huh. No, not me. So here.
So yeah.
This bevel, widened a little bit more than I like to, but sometimes you have to because this wasn't flat at all. So I made it to a pretty nice flat on the back. Then I'm going to start sharpening. That was
cool.
But not yet. Wait, because it's fun. Because it's a nerd hour. I want to nerd out as much as I can. So here, next step. Especially when you're sharpening a chisels, plane blades, those like needs that much more a precision. What I would do is again use this Kensho Itadaki 1000 grit. So sharpening the this bevel here is pretty easy. Well, relatively. It's got this like line called shinogi line here. From here, it sharpens like this. This particular one has a little bit of bevel at the end, right? But I want to make this part super flat as well. Not necessarily the case for a lot of kitchen knives, but the tool knives. And really, again, great practice to do. So you put the flat on the bevel right here. I'm not holding it at all, right? But it just sits by itself, right?
Yeah.
Then I do few strokes. And this also is great because see that the color changed on one part right here and not so much here.
Yep.
Like here. That means that it's not whole blade touching on this.
Oh, okay. So the blade's not flat. The beveled side isn't flat either.
No.
Surprise, surprise.
Especially for those who's sharpening a chisels, plane blades, make sure you get a lot more even finish on this one by using a coarse stone. So what I'm going to do is get the quite coarse stone. This example, a Sharpening glass 220. Make sure that this stone is flat as well.
Yep.
Here. Especially when I'm like moving fast to through them, it goes like out of focus, right?
Yeah, that's okay. It's just because you're moving. I'll just change up the layout for a sec. Got a few questions while you're truing your stone here. Yep. Blank is wondering what brand is the kiridashi that you're sharpening? Because on our website it's just listed as kiridashi.
It's very generic kiridashi. We don't even know who made it. I don't even know who made it. It's from the city of Miki in the Hyogo prefecture.
Otto said it looked like the Okea kiridashi that like I have. But also said might be like a child with many names though.
Yeah, it's okay. Maybe actually okay. It's okay. It's in that region as well. So
right. Otto was also saying interesting going back on the grit like that and makes sense. I think Shibata-san uses different grits on different sides of his double bevels. That's correct. He does.
Yeah.
He doesn't even tell us exactly which ones anymore, but he's got some amazing mystery combination.
I got a little bit of mystery, but I was told that I can't tell anybody, so I haven't.
That's fair. That's totally understandable.
I haven't even told anybody from in the company either. So
all right, keep your secrets then.
It doesn't accidentally, like go out.
That's probably a good thing. Yusik was just asking me if I can toss up a link for the kiridashi. I can, but I'm lazy, so I put it in the description of this video. If it's not there, let me know. It might not have saved properly, but click, have a scroll down. There's also a link to Naoto's new chip repair video if anyone's interested, as well as a link to the garage sale. That's our sale. It's coming up next month in May. If you want to learn more about it or preview the knives that are going to be on sale or part of the sale, rather, just click the link in the bio for the garage sale or link in the description, and you will see it. Full description, full products.
So here, this part of my where my index finger is here, it's actually not touching. So I'm gonna go more with this 220 grit, even though I do have a already burr built up right here. I'll go a little bit more farther. In order to keep my profile though, because if you sharpen one side too much, what can happen is that the because right now what's happening right now is that this middle part is touching on the stone much more than this heel part, right? So what is going to happen is that I'm just grinding this part so much more, and ended up the profiles start to actually deflate or change it, and it will have the low spot. So in order to keep it flat, I'm occasionally gonna remove the burr. I just set up my deburring stone right here.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna occasionally deburr it with that stone here. Again, flat, back and forth. I changed my finger position slightly, but not so much. Angle should stay the same.
Now, Blank thinks that you should finish or at least use 2 different natural stones on this one. So maybe later on when we're answering questions, we can go through and do some crazy natural stone work on this thing. Blank, I also didn't see the photo you sent me. It hasn't shown up in my inbox. So just if anybody wants to submit a picture for us to show off of sharpening work that they've done or part of their collection, that's Nathan@knifewear.com, Nathan at knifewear.com. So yeah, send me any submissions you have. We got a few more comments here. So Rob Carson, who I was chatting with by email, is here, and he was suggesting we get a USB microscope to show off some of the fine details. So I'm excited to. I think we'll try that out next week because we got an exciting episode next week actually. But he was talking about. So Rob is a scientist of some kind. I don't know the official title, but really is into metallurgy and that sort of thing on the level of like lab work. So very more technical than us and loves nerding out just as we do. And we were talking about single bevel knives, different types of steel, kind of flexing different ways. And his explanation was they're basically a thermostat or bimetal thermometer. The metals have different coefficients of thermal expansion. So in theory, if you make the knife perfectly, if you make the knife perfectly flat at one temperature, it'll be warped at any other temperature. It will probably be imperceptible to most normal human temperatures.
Also, Rob
is not a normal human when it comes to perception, but
yeah, the little bit of nerdy thing about the metallurgy. Usually, the hard steel is in the martensite form, where the softer steel actually stays at the austenite, and the martensite, when they quench them, it will expands in the volume. Despite the fact it hardens, it actually expands in volume, as you probably know. But over time, it will actually contract in the volume in the later on. So that will actually cause the knife to bend as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because steel isn't just it's not inanimate. It's not inactive. It does change over time, right? Well, if anybody else has questions that they want to ask, whether it's specifically about the process that Naoto's doing right now, which is furiously flattening his stone, or or just about sharpening, about knives, about steel in general,
anything.
Pop them in the comments if you want to know about Japanese food. We did have a question about the garage sale, which we'll get to a little later, just because I didn't want to interrupt the process too much here.
But the the chopsticks video was pretty fun. Hey, we did shoot the other day.
Yeah, we did that yesterday. That's going to be for episode 2 of Sharp Knives Rock, which is our show that it's more sort of like a talk show that we're doing on YouTube every month. So it's the second Monday of every month. This next episode is going to be May 10th at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. If you saw the first episode, thanks for tuning in. Episode 2 going to have much better camera quality, much higher stream quality, new computer, the whole deal, the whole 9 yards. But we are going to be talking about the Knifewear garage sale, how it got started, the story behind it, what it's like to travel to Japan. And Naoto's got some great tips on using chopsticks, how to do it properly, and a million things that you shouldn't do with chopsticks, specifically in sort of a Japanese setting, whether you're in Japan or a Japanese restaurant.
I'm not sure familiar with the other cultures like in East Asia, like Korea or China, but I'm sure they have a lot of rules to what to do and what not to do.
Totally.
But it was fun. Like worst 20 things you can do with the chopsticks in Japan. That was the that would be the title.
Hey, Blank's got a great comment. I like this idea because I don't know. I think it just sounds fun. I want to see Naoto sharpen a single bevel on a severely dished out stone to see how sharp he can get it still.
I mean, you can't get sharp. I think
the bigger challenge would be like, how flat can you get it?
Oh, that's hard. That is hard. If I can use one of the stone that is super flat, like a Kensho 3000, if I'm allowed to have one stone chewed, that could help. Because I use it as a gauge, right?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
But if all the stones are not so flat, that would be so hard.
Yeah, that would be that. It just wouldn't be fun.
No.
It would be an interesting challenge.
Well, I do have quite a few single bevel knives, so I may do that.
Fighting Yusik has a comment that I find confusing, so I'd love to figure out what the deal is. But it said Nakiri get a bad rap and are actually awesome. Who is with me? I didn't know Nakiri's got a bad rap. I think they're awesome.
Yeah. I've a one Nakiri made by the Mutsumi Hinora, the Ajikataya, and it's great. For those who don't know what the Nakiri is this Japanese vegetable knife that looks like a rectangular shape.
It's great. You should go back and watch our video from last week about how to use one with Mike, because it kind of tells you about why they're awesome, and it convinced Craig to get a Mega Nakiri.
So here, it's almost even. I'm going to actually make it a little bit more at the heel part. One thing I noticed is that here, it's actually not too bad. No, it's not too bad. Sometimes when you're sharpening a single bevels, you start to lose the. It does have a little bit of. It is not as parallel. The bevel here is not as parallel to the edge, right? Right here. Like it's got a little bit wider at the heel.
Yeah.
And narrows at the tip.
Oh yeah, interesting.
It often is because of the thickness difference on this part. You could fix it by, I could fix it by putting more pressure down at the heel part. But today's my purpose, my objective today is to make this bevel as flat as possible. So I'm just gonna ignore that today. Okay.
Cool.
Kitchen knives, I like to have them not so flat. I have the idea of the kitchen knife should have the slight different angle goes all the way through, which I will cover sometimes. Oh, I kind of do pretty much it all the time, but.
Hey, Damon Spector tuned in, said kitchen's hopping tonight. Well, I hope you're not getting too distracted by us, but thanks for tuning in, buddy.
Yeah.
That reminds me. So many of us that work at Knifewear used to be chefs at one point or another, or cooks. I was never a chef, but I certainly cooked for 8 years professionally. And restaurants are just having an awful time right now, especially smaller independent restaurants. So we have got a promotion that we're doing at all Knifewear stores. Damon, I don't know where you're located. I don't recall. But for anyone that's in Calgary, Edmonton, Ottawa, or Vancouver, you can come down to your local Knifewear store, bring your knives, and we will sharpen them for free because times are tough enough. Life is expensive enough. Bring your knives to us, and we will sharpen them for free because you deserve it, and you probably need it at this point. You've been working hard. If you can bring them two at a time, that helps us keep up. But if you need a few more turned around really quick, I'm sure if you ask nice, the folks at the shop will help you out.
Yeah.
Rob Carson said, I lost it. Anyways, Rob said, very happy to hear the words. Here we go. I cannot express how exciting it is to hear the words like Martensite and Austenite used on YouTube's.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we get into the real nerd stuff here sometimes.
This is the nerd hour. This is the only time that I guess that I got allowed to say the word.
Yeah, we try to keep a lot of the really technical jargon out of our shops for the most part. I mean, our staff know this stuff, but it can be a lot for the average, home cook looking to just buy a good Santoku. But it is really nice when we can just kind of let loose and just be giant nerds. So we're all as excited about this show as you are.
Yeah. So here, it's got the pretty nice and flat. Tiny bit though, like use your eyes to make sure be able to tell where you're sharpening. It's pretty nice and even. There is tiny spot at the heel that it doesn't get to. Not to worry too much about it. Again, my objective today is to get the as flat as possible. But in reality, that flatness wouldn't matter as much as I've already flattened them all the way to the edge, and I've already raised good size burr on the other side. As you keep sharpening it, this will get I could definitely get this slight low spot, which can't really see them, can you?
Let's see. Hold up real quick. Yeah, bring it away from the camera a little bit. There we go. Hold still.
Can't really see them though, right?
Yeah.
There's like a little spot right here. So I'm just gonna not gonna ignore, but just gonna leave it like this.
You're not gonna stress about it too much.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Gotcha.
So, next step. Again, I will have the little what I've been calling it the deburring stone.
Yeah.
Kensho Itadaki 3000. It will keep the backside flat very nicely.
Yeah.
As well. But I will keep this one on the ledge of the sharpening stone right here. And what I'm going to do is to...
apparently, Yusik is saying a lot of people aren't huge fan. They kind of shit on the Curies a little bit. And feels that it's maybe a notion brought on by professional chefs. It's interesting because there's a big kind of divide. When I went to cooking school, You know, there were chefs that were super gung-ho about Japanese knives, especially in second year when you get into some of the younger chefs that are a little more in tune with modern trends and you know, a little more realistic about where food is these days. But a lot of the old, you know, Austrian guys that have been doing it for 50 years, yeah, they weren't big fans of Japanese knives. They didn't even think they were bad. They just thought they were too expensive and there was no point in ever having one in a professional kitchen, which is funny now because you see, I mean, you know, doesn't Rene Redzepi use a Takamura knife? Like a lot of the really famous chefs are using Japanese knives. And when it comes down to like kitchens in Calgary, even some of like the pub cooks locally that are customers of ours, they have some pretty sweet knives that are beautiful. They have gorgeous knife collections, and they're just, you know, don't get me wrong, I love pub and diner cooking. That's what I've done a lot of, but you know, they're just slanging nachos and burgers and stuff, but they're using amazing knives to do it. It really is interesting because where we've had shops and we've kind of infected the local population with our knife nerdiness, people have really bought into the idea of different knife shapes and using harder steels. But people that maybe haven't had the exposure that some of our locals have, yeah, I think if they haven't had a chance to learn about Japanese knives properly, they're probably a little more suspicious of them or just uncertain and maybe think that using a square knife is wrong for some reason because that's not what they grew up learning.
And, you know, I understand that, you know, it's hard to transition, you know, from what they are used to and
Charminator has got a question here. I chipped the very tip of my Masashi Kyotsuke Yanagiba. Oh, that's a bummer. I'm sorry to hear it. It's still pointy though. Got any tips? I'm guessing he doesn't mean knife tips, but tips on fixing it.
Yeah, the Masashi Kyotsuke, it's got the really nice. I'm probably just gonna use really coarse stone, and from the back end to this to get that tip back on.
Yeah.
Masashi-san's how he forges is. I love his knives. I think he's the one of the best blacksmiths or the kitchen knife maker in Japan. The kitchen knife blacksmith in Japan, but the he makes it super thin. I have his Tuten Gyuto, and I tip my knife while I'm washing it. I basically the tip just touched on the sink and just broke off. I ground it down, but the you can. You know, there's a video by Francis in Vancouver, fixing up the tip by using the very coarse stone and just work out from the backside.
Yeah, it's on our channel. It should be on our sharpening playlist. If it's not, it's just in the uploads. It came out about a year ago, I think.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe. And if you haven't liked the video yet, give the video a like. I know you hear that all the time from people on YouTube, but it helps us massively. As our buddy Usix pointed out time and again, it really helps the algorithm and helps more people find our content.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, you got time for a couple questions here, Naoto? Yeah. So just a comment from Craig. Craig's loving the Moritaka Mega Nakiri. Doesn't think the regular Nakiris are going to see much action anymore. I'm in the same boat. It's all Mega Nakiri all the time. Question for Naoto from Damon Spector. Are Funayukis suitable for general use, or are they more like a deba and not great for general use?
Depends on what whose Funayuki you're looking at. It's very interesting. Funayuki, the fune or the funa means the boat or the fisherman's boat. And the yuki is to go. So basically, Funayuki was developed as those fisherman's knife that they bring it on the boat. So, you know, when they get a couple of fish, they just fillet them on the boat, and long enough and skinny enough, not as skinny as the other yanagi and stuff like that, but skinny enough to actually do the fish filleting with. So, if you're looking at the traditional Funayuki that were made like that, not necessarily great for everything because they are usually thick. But Funayuki, someone like Takeda-san, his Funayuki is actually very thin. It's just a shape that he calls a Funayuki, and his Funayuki is more like a Santoku. I think our description, in order to make it a little bit easier for customer to understand, we make a Funayuki Santoku on it. Although his description is only santoku.
Yeah, because a lot of just the general public, if you will, aren't familiar with that. I barely know what a funiyuki is, so
yeah.
Certainly a lot of our customers don't. Blank, I did get your email. They actually both came through after you sent the second one, so just fix that Gmail jam, I guess, with that second email. So I'll show that off in a sec here. Dame Inspector, love this. Says I cut peppers and onions for pizza with a Kurosaki Senko. I cut bacon for pizzas with a 270 Mizaki. Cooking bum food with expensive knives is my jam. Damon, you are a true chef, because that's my favorite thing about people that work in the industry is they cook beautiful food all day long, and they get home and all they want to eat is macaroni with hot dogs in it and and just like cheese pizza. And I'm no different. I'll eat my instant ramen that's spiced up with sliced green onions and a boiled egg, and I use my fancy knives to make it. It's great. Corey Phillips is just asking, do you know why Takamura doesn't make a 240 Akagohan?
I don't know why. The one answer that I have is that his Akagohan series or his VG10 series is actually it is handmade. It is hand sharpened. The blade itself, though, is actually not. Some people call it hand forged because it's the he doesn't use those spring hammer to flatten the blade out for the Akagohan series or the other series. So I bet he doesn't basically have the template for 240 on that one. Where others, the Pro Series, Uchigumo, and all others, he forges it. And the forging definitely has more flexibility into how big that they can make, right? They had even made a tuna knife with Uchigumo finish. And I've seen it, I've touched it, because I was visiting him in Takefu, and he was like, showing off, I guess. Like, can we buy it? I know, it's just for fun, but it was there. I get to cut tomato with it, so it was fun.
Nice.
But yeah. So that's probably why he should see that a little bit more of the demand on that one, but. That's his.
All right. How are we doing on that kiridashi?
Alrighty, so 1000 grit. What I'm trying to do is to again try to keep as flat on the bevel as possible. So how you can tell flat. I usually reflect this bevel with the fluorescent light, like this. Sorry, the camera is kind of weird. Like this, and reflects it at the bevel with the light, and see if there's any low spots. There is two spots on the tip right. Sorry, can you change the camera back to the close shot?
Oh yeah, there we go.
On where my thumb is and where my other index finger is, there are two spots that are actually low.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I can see that.
So this is the decision that you can make while you're sharpening it. In order to get this one super flat, you will have to, again, also remove quite a bit of steel off from this point. That means you are losing a bit of steel from the edge too. So for those of you who's sharpening a kiridashi or any other single bevels and try to make this super flat, you can certainly go for it, but just to know that you are losing a little bit of steel, then you can still get sharp. That's why I said this is great practice tool. You know exactly where it's touching, how it is by going through those stones. Make sense? Hopefully.
Yeah. It's there's a method to the madness. No, that process makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna actually move on. Okay. To the other stone here.
I had a request while you're having to think about that. I had a request from our buddy Blank Blank. Says show my kiridashi before Naoto's gets prettier than mine is. So we're gonna show off. This is viewer submission number 1 for today from our buddy Blank Blank down in Houston.
See, that's pretty.
That is nice.
It's
also just like a great photo.
Yeah, that is beautiful. See, his doesn't have any spots, right?
No, it's very smooth. You must have spent some serious time. Yeah. Does that kiridashi look similar to the one we have?
Probably.
Yeah, very similar scale pattern on the handle there. And then this is the even closer up of the edge.
Yeah, see, like,
order to
get that, I would actually have to spend a lot more on this guy here with the 220, and and I know how hard it is to get that.
Yeah, absolutely. Blank, let us know. Let us know in the comments what you use to get that kind of result. I'm very curious. And if I have your permission, I might actually want to post this on our social media this week. If you're cool with that, let me know. Got the convex edge. All right, there we go. Fighting Usik says, I try to impress upon people how a sharp knife can change your cooking and eating experience. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Especially like a sharp knife can actually make food taste better. And it sounds like, bullshit, but it can.
There's a lot of scientific articles about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just a great example. If you're feeling bougie one day, get two identical steaks. They don't have to be ribeyes, just like 2 identical steaks. Grill them both the same way, rest them for 10 minutes, and then cut one with a dull knife and cut one with a sharp knife. And just look at how much of the juice comes out of the steak that's cut with a dull knife.
Yeah.
Or cut a slice of steak with a really sharp knife and eat it, and then cut a piece of steak with a serrated steak knife and eat that and see which one you prefer. Which one feels like it's been chewed up already.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Blank says they use the tiny uchigumori right behind it in the photo.
Yeah. I can tell it's really nice. So I actually I got a little bit of the request. So I just pull out my our Tamba Auto here. Got it from one of the suppliers. We got it as a gift.
Oh, cool.
So
that's a natural stone.
Yeah, it's a natural stone. Tamba Auto is the round. It's a medium grit natural stone that gives really nice mild look. Mild as a little bit more like smoky type of finish.
Yeah, paper thin radishes, tiny miniature dice. It's very fun to be able to like push your knife skills sometimes. That's why I love making like risotto. It's like, how tiny can I get these onions? How much can I make them disappear into the risotto so that you can't even, there's nothing left. It's fun. I really like it.
One of my favorite things to cut very thin is the cabbage, because I often make this just a thinly sliced cabbage salad.
Yep.
With the sesame dressing on. That's like really good. But
is that the one we're gonna make you're gonna do the cooking video on?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. Because it's fun. That will definitely make the texture and the flavor different from the how you cut it, how thin you cut it, with what type of knife you're cutting it as well. So
yeah. David Spector's got a good point. Sharp knives are so good that if you cut mushrooms with a really good knife, they will still stay fresh longer than uncut mushrooms. Yeah. It's if you ever, again, talk about working in restaurants, some people will, honestly say it doesn't, like, your knife doesn't need to be all that sharp. I've worked with lots of cooks that, like, I would tell them, hey, you got to take your knives home and sharpen them tonight. They suck. Like you got to tune them up. You're mangling the tomatoes, and they would disagree. And it's just, not only does it give you a nicer texture, but it does keep stuff fresh longer. If you're cutting greens or you're doing a chiffonade of basil for garnish, like I used to work on garde manger station, like you need a sharp knife so that your stuff stays fresh and doesn't die right away.
Yeah.
How's that coming along?
It actually looks pretty good. It started to look like a very nice mild, we call it kasumi finish, which is the nice, whatchamacallit, smoky, foggy on the outside of the soft steel, and a little bit more shinier at the hard steel.
Hey, Yusik has a copy of the Knife Nerd Guide to Japanese Knives inbound. A signed copy, in fact. Oh, that's the wrong comment. Well, thank you, blank. But yeah, Yusik has a copy of a signed copy of Knife Nerd Guide to Japanese Knives inbound, and Naoto's got a chapter in that book, actually.
Yeah. So here, it's kind of hard to show. But as you can see, maybe able to see this, where my thumb right here, focus, come on. Right here, it's got a little bit different color texture on it. But overall, it's actually pretty good.
What are you going for here? What kind of edge and look are you wanting to achieve? Oh,
today I'm trying to go a little bit crazy on the natural stones. So I've got the Tamba Auto for about 2,000 grit stone. Definitely I'm going to use the Shirosuita from the oops, wrong side. Shirosuita from a Maruoyama, where I visited.
Yep.
Suita is the called suita because the ita means a plate.
Yep.
And su can mean several different things. For this one, so su can mean a nest, like bird's nest.
Yep.
Stuff like that. This means though, this su is the something that's like this.
Like uneven kind of texture and consistency.
This here, su, refers to the same su as a tofu. So what happens is that when you boil tofu for too long, what happens is that it gets really soggy inside. Even like really nice silken tofu, if you boil it too long, it actually gets soggy. That sogginess, we call it su. And this rough part right here is su. It's soggy. And they have the layers of this su inside. So there's a
yeah, there we go.
Like right here. And I'm about to reach one su here. So when you get a suita, make sure that the who's that guy? The guy who's mined this stone, he told me their su doesn't really do much on the knife, but sometimes it leaves the scratches on the blade, which is not necessarily great.
Right.
He said he doesn't, in Japanese or the sharpening term, it's called jiohiku. It's and he was saying that their su doesn't do that, but it still does a little bit. So for those of you who's got a suita, I know it's like waste, but once you reach more su showed up, just try to chew them out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Blank's got a good point here. It says we need a better close-up camera. You're right. We've upgraded our setup. If you've been following with us for a while, we've upgraded our webcams. We're all on Logitech C922s now. We got fancy microphones and stuff, but we're finding continually there's always like little things that we want to tweak. So in the next couple weeks, we'll be getting a proper streaming computer for our warehouse. and that will hopefully fix part of it. Right now, Naoto's streaming on a about an 11-year-old Mac. That's kind of an old piece of shit that we use in our warehouse. So we're going to replace that with something that's got more RAM and a better graphics card, and that'll hopefully pump the quality of the video up. But if you have suggestions on a better webcam for close-ups, let me know. I've been doing a lot of research, but the kind of streaming we do, what we're doing is very specialized, and nobody else really does it. So it's a lot of experimentation. If anybody has suggestions, shoot me an email, and I would love to get your advice. Naoto, can you open on Chrome? Can you open the window that's got the stone camera real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, buddy. I just want to make sure you're on 720p there, because we can always.
Yeah, I am.
So just go to the gear, and you're on 720.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, man. Yeah. So once we get a better computer, that'll hopefully help, and then if not, we'll look at getting a better webcam. So next week, I guess this is a good chance to plug next week's episode. What is it going to be? Friday, May 6th, probably, is going to be our kind of pre-garage sale episode of Naoto's Nerdy Power Hour. So we're going to be talking about knife restoration, and Naoto's going to be using he's going to be restoring some secondhand knives that have either been damaged and returned or been on display in our shops as what we call demo knives that customers can try in store. And so he's going to be going through the process of like kind of cleaning them up and making them nice and getting them ready to resell. And those will be on sale at the garage sale. So next week, I'll be in the warehouse behind the computer there, and we will have our Sony. This is the Sony Alpha that we shoot 6400 that we shoot all of our YouTube videos on, and we will be using that as our webcam next week. So we'll do the close-ups on this guy, and it'll probably look a hell of a lot better. How are we doing there, Naoto?
This looks pretty good, eh?
Yeah, looks very consistent.
The again, especially at the tip, this one you can tell right here. Different light reflection. At the heel, there's a little bit of another different light reflection right here. I could go a little bit further. Again, it seems like what happens is that when they are making this type of blade, they do use the type of machine that's like behind me, like this. Right? The vertical wheel. So what happens is that the vertical wheel make this bevel tiny bit of concave. So that's why it's got the like right here and at the heel here. You could fake it by, again, there are a few ways that you can go about. Either going all the way with the...
do you want to bring that back from the camera a little bit, just so it can focus better? Yeah, there we go.
So it looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Not quite as good as blank blanks.
I know.
I know. I'm not just kissing ass. I mean it. But it looks pretty good.
Yeah. This one's pretty good. If I want to make it better look, I would definitely have to spend more time working on this part here.
Yeah.
And this part here.
Yeah.
And again, great practice knife for single bevel knives. Right?
Yeah.
In order to make it nice and even, look pretty, get the uraoshi, urasuki very nice. This kiridashi, or not this kiridashi in general is fantastic knife to a to do practice on single bevel knives.
Yeah, well, it's super affordable. It's a great, cool knife. It's not like it's just a practice knife. Like that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Our staff describe it as like a lifetime X-Acto knife that you just never throw away, right? And so it's a great thing to practice on.
I'm gonna try something else here since I'm here and I have some stone.
Yeah. Keep it going, man. Now that we've got through the kind of meat of the video, Naoto's tips, pop your questions in the comments if you want to know about knife sharpening, about knives, about steel. If you want to know about the garage sale next month, that's only, what, 3 weeks away? It's very soon. No, 2 weeks away. 2 weeks on Monday. Right?
Really? No.
Yeah.
3.
It's May 17th, and Monday is the 3rd. So it's 2 weeks from Monday. Garage sale's really soon. So if anybody, we did have a question at the very beginning. Yeah, Otto puts it really well. Box cutter for the blade aficionado. I like that. I see. So blank said they had to remove some scratches from the lower grit, so that's why they were doing some last minute polishing before sending that photo. Well, either way, the last minute polishing pulled off, or it paid off. It looked fantastic. If anybody else has a sharpening job they want to send us a photo of that we can show off, let us just email it to me, Nathan@knifewear.com, and we'll pop it up on screen. All right. So if anybody else has questions, a minute ago here, Rob said, Rob's the one with the usuba we were talking about last week, says, I really like the Katsura. I'm going to try not to fuck this up. Katsura
Muki cut. Yeah.
Thank you. Katsura Muki cut. I've said that before. I don't know why I can't say it today. With my usuba. I do it to daikon and use the resulting daikon threads instead of rice noodles and stir fries.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, I do. I do make a very thin. I'm not. It's funny. I do cook a lot, but I can't. I'm not good enough to actually do a very good katsuramuki. But I do like to slice daikon very thin for my daikon salad.
Yeah, I love the texture of like tiny threads of daikon. It's just so lovely. Yeah.
What I do is I make a dressing out of the soy sauce, rice vinegar. So basic Japanese dressing, which is the soy sauce, rice vinegar, salt, pepper, and regular vegetable oil. Yep. Then I add a little bit of a plum paste. The pickle plum, the umeboshi. I basically take the seed off, chop them up, and mix it into the dressing.
Cool.
And finishing up with the little bit of katsuobushi, the very fine bonito flakes on top.
Nice.
That's really good. Good daikon salad.
That sounds delicious. Hey, our buddy James Wang is here. Says late to the party. Hey, better late than never.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried. I was gonna call you out a minute ago for. I was worried about not seeing you, so I'm glad you tuned in. Thanks, buddy. Let us know if you have any projects you've been working on this week. If you want to send us a photo of something crazy you've done, knife-wise, we'll pop it up on screen here. I'm gonna go back a little ways to the very beginning because we had a question about garage sale knives that I was holding on to, and hopefully the person that asked us hasn't disappeared. Let's see. Just give me a sec. If anybody else has questions, anything that they want to learn from Naoto, any experiences that they've had in sharpening that they want to share, techniques that they've kind of discovered, or great tips. If you want to know about garage sale knives, Japanese food.
Japanese food culture.
Here we go. So yeah, like an hour ago, Trevor S. said, I've been looking at buying a new slicer, 240-ish length, wondering if you're expecting anything interesting for the garage sale. What's that look?
The 240, can't remember if emergency alert. Oh.
Severe wind warning, I'm guessing? I just got it on my phone too.
Okay.
Oh no, it's just because our government's doing a terrible job of stopping COVID. And if anybody didn't know, Alberta is the hotspot for COVID in Canada.
Apparently, Calgary has more infection per capita than India has right now.
Oh yeah, no, we're completely shitting the bed. We're doing an awful job. So if you're watching this and you live in Calgary, don't go to the bar with all your friends and sit on a patio, because it's great to support local restaurants, but it's really dumb to hang out with a bunch of people that might give you COVID and vice versa. So stop it, get vaccinated, wear a mask, and be smart. Anyways, that's my rant for the week over. Do we have any good slices for garage sale?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the picture right here. 1 second. I don't know if he was the one that I was talking to, but Yukurosaki, Shizuku, Senko, the new line of his, it's got a sparkly kind of hammer pattern with the fancy handle. We don't have this one yet.
Yeah.
Fancy handle like this. This like acrylic type handle. Wrong camera.
There we go.
Like this handle. And Tsujihiki. We'll have that. That's really interesting, unique.
Yep.
40. We'll have a regular Senko Tsujihiki with a Japanese handle as well. For those of you who's looking, a little bit more basic look to it. So that's really, and like Tsujihikis are kind of hard to, we don't usually stock them up, but that one's actually really, really nice. So Senko Tsujihiki Western. Yukurosaki Senko Western Tsujihiki.
Cool. That's really exciting.
They are not here yet. That's why I can't really show you.
James said, no more knife polishing. I ran out of knives to polish. Well, James, I know a great place that sells Japanese knives. If you need a recommendation, I'm sure the people there would help you out. They've even got this big sale coming up next month called the garage sale.
If you want a honyaki with a very fancy handle, just ask Vancouver guys. We can send one to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. James is also a crazy person. Says, yanagibas are my favorite to sharpen, usually over 300 millimeters long.
Yeah.
The work you do is insane, man. It's super, super cool. I love every time you send us a message of your latest project. It's just unbelievable.
We have this Nakagawa-san's forged a white number 1 carbon steel honyaki with the Mount Fuji hamon, very nice hamon with the quince handle and quince saya.
Oh man,
that's really nice.
Quince wood is so nice.
Yeah, they do really good.
If anybody watching is a fan of knife sharpening and knife repairs, which I get the feeling all of you are, otherwise why are you watching this show? You can follow Naoto on Instagram for sharpening repairs. His handle is up on the screen there, but it's at Naoto KW, Naoto KW, and he posts some pretty cool stuff, including and some really good looking food. Will you post some ramen today?
Yeah, made a ramen over the last weekend, and it was good.
Nice.
Takes time, but.
Well, that's a vaguely perfect segue into our next comment question from Fighting Yusik. Something completely different. Japanese-inspired pizza. What would you do?
Japanese-inspired pizza. In Japan, the menus are quite a bit different. We have Pizza Hut, we have Domino's and stuff. Yep. Some of the menus are some of them are really different. What's really popular in Japan is there's the pizza chain called Pizza Alla, and they have this crab burger. Oh no, sorry, the crab pizza.
Oh, that sounds good.
So yeah, you can use the canned crabs and stuff like that, but they just spread on all over, and white sauce, the bechamel or something with cheese, and you think seafood that like crabs and cheese doesn't go well, They definitely do.
It sounds gross.
Yeah, but they do definitely go really, really well.
I mean, I made seafood risotto before and put cheese.
Shrimp and cheese goes well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think these guys are kind of similar, right? Like clams and cheese are terrible.
Yeah.
But
I'm thinking like I'd be very curious to see if you could make something that seems like a traditional Neapolitan pizza, but has primarily Japanese ingredients. And David Chang in his original cookbook, Momofuku, has a recipe where he makes like a caprese salad, except it's made with fresh tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. But then instead of the fresh mozzarella, he uses like a really high quality tofu. And then like minced shiso leaves and like an aged shoyu. And so I feel like if you did something like that, that was kind of almost like a margarita pizza.
Yeah.
And instead of, I really like having prosciutto and Parmesan sprinkled on my pizza at the very end when it comes out of the oven. So you can maybe do like really high quality katsuobushi instead.
How should I, how traditional should I go? Like tomatoes pretty relatively new to Japanese.
Yeah. It's also relatively new to Italy. Like tomatoes only came to Italy in like last couple hundred years. So to be fair,
there you go.
Is there anything in Japan that could take the place of a tomato?
Something that's savory.
Tomatoes are kind of umami, right? Like they've got a lot of those natural MSG in them, right?
Yeah. Natural MSG in it. I can. Yeah. Well, katsuobushi is definitely something super unique, and there are a lot of salted fish too, right? So
here's an idea. Have you ever made a shiso pesto before?
Yeah.
That'd be good. You could do like a pesto pizza with maybe some shrimp or crab on it.
Right.
I feel like that would be good. All right. We'll move on to the next question. I'm getting really hungry now.
Yeah, let's stop talking about food all the way because
Damon says we should break into Kevin's garage and find his stash and put them on the garage sale. His reaction live would be priceless. I think that would be hilarious. I would enjoy that very much.
Sorry, I was working on the back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Holy bananas. What are you polishing that thing on?
I was just using a 3000, move up on the Arashiyama 6000. Then I'm polishing on the this Naniwa Chosera 10,000.
Gotcha. That Chosera 10,000 is amazing. I like to finish straight razors on that.
Yeah.
Blank is asking if we've ever tried Japanese Kit Kats. They're fire.
Kit Kats? Yeah. You can buy Kit Kats, like Japanese Kit Kats here in Calgary. The TNT sells it.
Yeah, like fucking Superstore has them now.
Oh yeah, nice.
I almost grabbed a fistful of them the other day.
Hey, those Loblaws, the Real Canadian Superstore owns the TNT now.
Oh,
well, for those of you who's watching from elsewhere, TNT is just a mega Asian grocery store, and it's everywhere in Canada.
And they're awesome. They're sort of primarily Chinese, aren't they? But they've got a lot of Japanese ingredients and stuff too.
Yep.
And there's now one near our warehouse, which is very exciting.
Yeah, it's super close. You know,
I've had the green tea Kit Kats, which are unbelievable. They're far superior to any other Kit Kat, in my opinion. But so a couple of our suppliers in Japan send us care packages every Christmas. So Shibata-san sends us a big box to each store. He sends an individual box full of Japanese treats and just delicious snack foods. And then I can't remember who else. I think Takeda-san usually sends us.
Sends us a Japanese noodles.
Yeah, a lot of really kind of elaborate instant noodle dishes.
Yeah.
Question from Rob.
Yes.
Naoto mentioned last week that there would be some interesting kiritsukes at the garage sale. Any sneak peeks or ideas of the price range? I'm hoping my next knife will be a kiritsuke.
The Masashi kiritsukes are here. I can go grab one.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, I'm gonna go wash my hand really quick.
Yeah,
Just
you do it.
my-
I'll run through some news while you do that. Thanks everyone that's sticking around. Again, if you have more questions, pop them in the comments below, and we'd love to answer them. It's only 5:30. We got lots of time. I'm just gonna blast through some news real quick. First of all, if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have a submission of a knife that you want to show off that you've sharpened, send it to nathan@knifewear.com and we'll show it up on screen either later today or on next week's episode. Speaking of next week, on I believe it's May the 6th at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, we've got our one of our garage sale special episodes of Naoto's Nerd Hour. So we're going to be talking about refurbishing knives, and Naoto's actually going to be refurbishing knives that will be in the garage sale. So that'll be really exciting. Probably some old demo sample knives from the shop, hot rodding them, polishing them up, getting rid of all the scratches, and making them beautiful again. Speaking of which, the Knifewear garage sale runs May 17th to 24th. It starts at 8 a.m. online, so make sure you get online early if there's a specific knife you want, because they're going to go quick. If you're in one of our cities, we will have the garage sale in store like the good old days, but because of the ongoing global situation, especially in Alberta and Ontario, the COVID thing's doing pretty bad. So we're going to try to discourage people to come into the store too much. If you're just looking for a great knife or a great deal, definitely come visit the stores. But if you're looking for something really unique, or you don't have to come to the store, shop online, knifewear.com. Sale goes live at 8 a.m. on the 17th. We've got lots of previews coming up. We've got Sharp Knives Rock, second episode of our show, airing on May 10th at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. That's Monday. And we're going to be talking all about the garage sale. We're going to have a really fun challenge for that one that Kevin, Lordy, and Naoto will all be competing in. The second day, the Tuesday, May 11th at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, the guys are going to be doing Japanese Knife 101, but they're going to be doing the garage sale special version. So we'll be, again, previewing knives, all that sort of thing. And then on the 14th, so the Naoto's Nerd Hour, right before the garage sale at 2 p.m., we are just going to be doing a garage sale preview. We won't have a sharpening lesson that day. We'll just be showing off knives for 3 or 4 hours that will be part of the garage sale.
I know the this show 2 weeks from now, it's going to be the last minute garage sale preview.
Yeah.
And I know the fact that the on Tuesday when the Kevin's doing the
Japanese Knife 101,
there are some knives that's not here yet.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, we're getting stuff like showing up on Friday, right? Like we might actually be unpacking boxes as we're showing them off.
I'm just gonna grab it from the tables, kind of stuff. Because what's going on in Japan right now is, well, not the pandemic, but Japan is
the pandemic.
It's called the Golden Week. So in Japan, it's a public holiday from 29th of April is on a public holiday. It's called the Day of Showa. It's to celebrate it's weird. So don't, but it's weird. The Day of Showa. It is actually former birthday of the Emperor Hitohiro.
Mm.
So we do have actually holiday for that emperor. But anyway, anyways, so it's a public holiday, and we have public holiday on May 2nd and the 5th. And the Japanese law, and when there are two holidays like that, and it's like one of those game that the day in the middle, the 4th, will actually turn into the holiday as well. So they have 3-day holiday. So May 2nd, 3rd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
But this year, tomorrow, the May 1st is Saturday and 2nd is Sunday. So most people have 5 days off straight. And as I said, 29th is off. So the most people many companies take this Friday off. So 7 days straight.
Mm-hmm.
And like companies, like I know the Sakai Takayuki, I was talking to them. Sakai Takayuki is taking 2 more extra days because when they come back to work next week, it's only Thursdays and Friday.
Right.
So they take 29th all the way to the Sunday.
Wow. So maybe we should plan our garage sale better next year.
Yeah, but I've managed to get cool new knives from Sakai Takayuki though.
That's awesome. I'm excited. I'm always so excited to see what we get for the garage sale. It's such a hard time for staff for so many reasons, but primarily because we're not allowed to buy anything until 6 p.m. that day. So if there's something you really love, you probably have to watch it just go out the door, which is a blessing and a curse. But also, there's still so many great things left after the first day that it's very hard to know which one thing to buy as opposed to which 7 things you're going to buy.
Mm-hmm. So who was it? The Damon?
Yes. Let me check. I've lost track. That was Rob that was asking about the Kiritsukes. Here, I'll pop that up on screen again.
So this one here is so-called Kiritsuke Yanagi. It may be different from what he was looking for as Kiritsuke Gyuto. Kiritsuke Yanagi is more traditional Kiritsuke that is a single bevel to slice down the sashimi with. There are some Kiritsuke Gyutos, which we're still waiting lots of shipment coming in. So we'll have quite a few Kiritsuke Gyutos coming in as well. Like Kurosaki Senko 240 mil Kiritsuke Gyuto.
Here, one sec. I'll pop you up there. Oh, yeah. That's me. Dear God. What's going on? Here we go. There's Naoto.
It's kind of hard to see, but which will come in with the super fancy handle like this, which will come in very last minute.
Very cool. Okay, I'm gonna blast through some comments here because you guys are doing a great job of asking questions and leaving comments, but I am way behind. James Wang had a good question. By the way, speaking of garage sale, I heard there'll be Shigefusa. Just curious, what would they be? Is that true?
1 240 usuba.
1 240 usuba. All right. Well, I'm pretty sure James is the Shigefusa sniper that always grabs them the second they go on our website. So
yes, 1 240 usuba.
240 usuba. That's wild.
Yeah. Look at it. Oh, that's wild. Yes. Yeah. We always ask for the Shigefusa, and it's hard to come by. But yeah,
yeah, it's a difficult thing for sure.
Yeah. Well, other things that's really cool and unique. Can I just show people?
Yeah, sounds good. While you do that, I'm gonna go through a few more questions. Okay, what's that? Tell me first.
Yeah, let's do it first. These ones are made by a blacksmith called the Tasai-san. Tasai-san is very famous, a chisel and plane maker. And my opinion, plane makers are, generally speaking, more skilled than the kitchen knife makers because they have to do a lot more to get the flatness and everything.
Yeah.
And they do have to take it more, right? So we've got the well, since I was sharpening kiridashi, wanted to showcase this guy. Let's show it in this camera. I'm just gonna.
All right.
Kiridashi made by Tasai-san.
Oh.
Tenmoku.
Good Lord.
Right?
Wow.
Right?
What's the deal? Does he do his own Damascus at all?
Yep.
Wow. Holy.
And this texture is like Masashi-san's, right? So he's got a little bit of idea from this blacksmith. These blacksmiths who does make this finish for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like Tenmoku, this guy here. Also, we've got the same blacksmith. It doesn't look as pretty, but this guy here is the made with so-called watetsu. Watetsu is a this steel that were primarily used for nails, like making shrines and stuff. And he's from the Sanjo region. Sanjo is famous for making this the watetsu or the wakugi or the Japanese nails, and that's how it all started. It. So he collected a whole bunch of old Japanese nails and folded over and over. It's almost like wrought iron, but the folded over and over, use it as a outer steel, and done the kiridashi.
Cool.
It's beautiful piece. It's beautiful piece. Like this Rasuki is like really crazy good. Sorry, I just got excited when we got this.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
Okay, so sorry, go for it.
Yeah, so Rob had a question here. We're talking about ramen. On the topic of ramen, do you make your own ajitama? And if so, what do you put in your curing liquid?
Oh, the ajitama that I made the other day. I basically used the leftover pork chashu or the braised pork liquid.
Yeah.
I got a recipe of they call it barbecue pork, but I didn't barbecue them. It's like simmered.
Right. Yeah.
Was basically soy sauce, sake, and ginger and green onion, and simmer them for about an hour. And if you like a little bit sweeter, you can definitely add some mirin or the sugar to make it a little bit sweeter.
Mm. Is ajitama the egg that you put in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
I boiled egg about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
To get that nice and soft inside. Peel them right off. Time. Yeah. Peel them right off and soak in those liquids.
Cool. Damon Spector says Japanese Italian fusion, cutting garlic with an iwasaki for tomato sauce, like in Goodfellas. Have you seen Goodfellas, Naoto?
No, I haven't.
It's good. You should watch it. I don't know if Mai would like it, but you'll like it. It's great. But there's a scene where they're in prison, and he's using a razor blade to slice garlic really thin for tomato sauce.
I might have seen that actually. I might have seen that.
It's a pretty famous scene, so I think a lot of people have at least seen that part.
I'm sure I've seen that kind of thing there. Yeah.
So I'm curious about this iwasaki method. Let me know if it worked, Damon. Hope you didn't shave your face without washing it. James is impressed with your mirror finish.
Oh,
so good work.
Thank you.
And we got some love for the Chostera 10K.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, it does cost a lot, but it is well worth it. Fighting U6 says Naoto planned to stop 20 minutes ago, but then blank sent that picture, and yeah. Naoto loves a challenge.
No, I just like to keep going. Since it's a nerd hour and a sharpening thing, right? So
yeah, exactly. Oh, James, we got a fan of TNT here. Says recently about the Niigata Uonuma rice.
Oh, nice, nice.
Is that good stuff?
Yeah, Uonuma is the place that's really, really, really the place for this brand or the crop of the rice called koshihikari. And yeah, they are. It's a brand now.
Cool.
Uonuma Koshihikari is a brand.
I'll have to track some down. We eat a lot of Japanese rice, so I want to try it now.
Yeah, the imported ones are quite expensive though.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh.
Yeah.
Got a question from Damon here again about straight razors. Oh, what am I doing here? Hey Nathan, is a 2-micron stone fine enough to touch up my Iwasaki, or do I need to invest in a 1 micron or 10K stone? Naoto, can you remind me? I'm not great with microns, but roughly how?
Yeah, well, the 1 micron is roughly about 10K. So 2 micron, about the double, so like 5,000.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. I would use something that's around 2 micron if my razor isn't cutting almost at all. If it's struggling, for sure. But if you're touching it up regularly, I wouldn't personally shave with an edge off 5,000. It'll work for sure, but a lot of people will find it rough. So if your skin's at all sensitive, it might be pretty uncomfortable. By all means, give it a try, right? Do a shave with it. If you get some razor burn, obviously you need to go finer. But I really do like having a 10 or 12K stone. You can go even finer. I've never bothered, but anywhere from 8 to 12K, I prefer about 10 or 12 myself. Is definitely recommended for a straight razor. And then you can tune it up maybe a little more often, but you won't be removing quite as much steel. Yusik is asking, any idea when the webpage will go up? I'm guessing Yusik meant for the garage sale. It should be up if you check the link in the description. I've got a link to our blog about the garage sale, and at the bottom of the blog page there is a link to the products, but I will also just post it in the comments here in a sec. I just gotta pull it up on my browser here. Ooh, okay. We got another good one from James here. By the way, I polished and etched a blue steel Honyaki of mine that I use regularly, and the banding pops out really well after etching. I've sent you a photo on Instagram. Sweet. I will pull up Instagram once I've got this.
Some people use the tiny, very thin acid to pop the hamon.
Yep. Okay, so there's a link for the garage sale products in the comments. Bear in mind that is a very limited lineup that's there right now. As Naoto mentioned, we're getting a lot of stuff last minute for the garage sale, so that page is going to get updated often, maybe daily, for the next 2 weeks. And a lot of the good stuff won't have pictures until like probably on Sunday. We've got a lot of stuff showing up on Friday. Our photographer is going to come in on Saturday, and he'll make sure it's all up there for Monday morning. But it's going to be a crunch. So keep your eyes peeled. It'll be some great surfing to do on the weekend leading up to the sale. Again, God damn, excuse me. The garage sale runs the 17th to the 24th of May. Starts at 8 a.m. online. A lot of good stuff sells out in minutes. So if you want something specific, get it early. If you're in one of our shops, you're welcome to come by the store, but COVID restrictions are in place. It won't be a stampede like it has been in previous years. And they're going to have limited stock. Most of the good stuff we're just keeping in the warehouse and we're just shipping out directly. So if you want something good, get it online. If you want to know more about knives, check out our live stream. We're going to have a marathon live stream on the Monday. That's the 17th, starting at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, and it's going to run for anywhere from probably 5 to 8 hours with all of the Knifewear crew hanging out. So we'll be answering questions like, what does this knife feel like? Can you compare these two knives? How much does it weigh? All the really technical stuff that you can normally tell in person that you can't online. Good question from Yusik here. Will there be more budget-friendly items, or is it mostly higher-end and exclusive-oriented? From day one, the garage sale has always been about just bringing in different stuff, and that includes some really good deals. Whether it's maybe knives that we got. Sometimes we have knives we got a great deal on, like Tojiro discontinued a line and they want to clear out their warehouse. So we just buy all of them and they give us a huge discount and we pass that on to our customers. I know in this case, we have some knives from a really new young blacksmith who's super green, but also still super good at making knives. And what was the one you were showing me yesterday for that preview? We were shooting a preview video.
Sakai-san, Sakai-san's pretty good. He apprenticed under Nishida-san. Only apprenticed about 3 or 4 years. And he just got a green light from the Nishida-san to start his own workshop.
Right.
Still up and coming.
Yeah.
And one of the reason why is that we want to support those people too, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have those as well.
What was the bargain knife you're showing me? It was aogami clad and stainless, I think.
Maneishi-san from the Tosa.
Right.
Yeah,
Lunar
they're
you should-
like less than $200. You get really, like
stainless
nice
clad, carbon Santoku hand forged.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like 180 bucks or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Cool.
You got a decent collection of stuff.
Yeah. Blank apparently had to disappear for a sec. I hope everything's okay. I saw your comment, and I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're doing okay. Kyle Bolden said, just finished hanging my bow grain magnetic strips. Nice. That's exciting. Love having knife magnets on the wall. I recently chipped the tip on my kiridashi, and I'm hesitant about grinding the little angle that most of them have on them. Any pro tips? No pun intended.
So little grinding on the little angle. I think the tip right. When I actually turn
I'll bring this guy back, and we'll go like that.
Right back here. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Hesitant to grinding a little angle. You could grind them. It's not the. It is definitely there to make the edge stronger. But as you use them again, it's going to, if you sharpen them about 2 millimeters down, this tip is gone. So you can always put another one on, right? By putting a high angle and grind it too. So yeah.
Cool.
Just showing off how mirror the back is.
It's pretty fucking nice.
I was testing on my arm hair, and it actually pops pretty good.
That's awesome.
Now I'm going to actually test it on. Look at the microscope tomorrow when I come back, because I want to see how they look like.
Yeah. I got some love for the knives you're showing off. So definitely some people loving the garage sale stuff. Kyle said I'm ready to trade hands for what I'm about to see. Does that mean you'll give up your hand, or you're gonna fight somebody for it? I'm curious.
Yeah, I'll be back.
And Rob likes the Kiritsuka that you showed off.
Okay, good. Well, one thing we haven't had this one for a little while. For those of you, I started doing a lot more gardenings ever since this started, and this thing was everyone was talking about it, so we decided to bring some. It's called the Hori Hori knife. We never called it Hori Hori in Japan, but it's a little gardening knife that has the little. You can scoop, you can cut the root.
Cool.
And it's got the little measurements right there as well, so you can see how deep that's digging in as well. We just got those guys in, so it's pretty good. It's one of those things.
Right on.
Give me one second. I'm gonna go around and see if there's anything super cool to show.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
This is the last minute, so.
Here, real quick before you do that, I just want to show off this knife that James worked on. I have the comment here. Says, where were we here? This is the blue steel Honyaki that he uses regularly, and the after etching, I believe that's what he's talking about.
That's Munetoshi's Honyaki, right? That's the Munetoshi-san. We have not their Honyaki, but not Honyaki from him, but that's the guy who's the sickle maker across from the Kazama-san that we often talk about.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think is it Honyaki? Is it? No, maybe not. But it's called the flow line that actually shows up. It's very interesting that actually shows that the steel flow. The steel has this line of flow, right? So you have to actually forge into the one direction than others. Steel bar. Like when you visit those blacksmiths, they have all the steel bars like this way.
Yeah.
And they cut in the size and make a knife out of it, right?
Right.
you can't cut it this to make it this direction because the those steel flows are directional.
Huh. That makes sense.
Sometimes as they forge and how they grind and the type of acid or type of sharpening stones can show that the flow line. It's not really Damascus steel, but it's that it's like
it's the grain. It's like the grain in wood, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. It's the same way. Like we've been really into carving spoons lately, and so you have to, I've been carving with the grain as opposed to against the grain because I want the structure.
Exactly. That's very interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So Naoto's just grabbing some garage sale stuff there, folks. So thanks for hanging on. If you didn't see it already, we've got a new video up on the YouTube channel, how to repair a chipped knife. It goes over the repair, keeping the profile, thinning the knife, sharpening the knife, kind of each step of repairing a chipped knife. It's with our man Naoto there. It's really kind of thorough, and I think he did a great job. So if you haven't already, the link to that is in the comments below or in the description below, but it's also just on our channel on the sharpening playlist. So give that a watch. And if you're watching this video, we would appreciate it if you give it a like and subscribe to our channel. It really, really helps us out. If you're a fan of knives and you like, outdoor stuff as well, you might be a fan of fixed blade and folding knives. Our sister brand, Kent of Inglewood, has some really cool stuff coming out soon. We've been expanding our lineup of folding knives, adding some new axes. Kent of Inglewood is basically like Knifewear, but for camping and for your washroom. So we sell high-end straight razors and brushes and that kind of stuff, but we also sell a lot of outdoorsy gear for camping, hiking, hunting, all that kind of thing. So we're adding some really exciting folding and fixed blade knives to our selection over the next few months. We've already got some great stuff like the James brand from Portland, Oregon, but we'll be adding to that selection as time goes on. So keep your eyes peeled there. Head to kentofinglewood.com if you want any stuff like that. What do you got there, Naoto?
Got some super cool. I'll be super cool handle.
Oh yeah, I know what this is. That thing is awesome.
Nigara-san's. Nigara-san is they've been like the company itself's been around for a little while, about 700-800 years. The kitchen knife section it's relatively new to them. But the Tsuyoshi-san, the relatively young blacksmith, he's like 8th generation right now. He started doing more of the kitchen knife making. And this R2 Tsuchime with this beautiful handle will be available. And also, if you like that kind of handle, we'll have actually quite a few selections at this garage sale. One's made by Kurosaki, one's made by Yoshimi Kato and those stuff. Nice. Yeah, we got some love for that in the comments. Yeah, we'll have a lot of selection like this. So each one's individually pictured. We should. Right on. Each ones are so unique and one of a kind. So yeah. Oh, Blank says they got a new pocket knife yesterday and told Yusik about it. Well, let us know what you got, Blank. Yeah. And David says 20 people watching and 20 likes and 19 people watching. Kevin and Kristen suck on that ratio. Yes, they can. Those clowns have nothing on us. I probably shouldn't talk so much shit on our HR manager and the president of the company, but it's fun. I feel like we can get away with it when we're on camera. Yeah. James was asking, big fan of the Shigefusa you mentioned, but is that Shigefusa Usuba Kasumi or Kitaeji? Might be getting it if it's the Kitaeji. Kitaeji. All right. So James might have one of those on the way already. It's Kitaeji. Jump on. Otherwise, it's we only have one. Oh yeah, I know where. Kyle is hoping that James gets the Shigefusa so he can jump on that kiridashi, the Damascus one. Yeah, I know where. Be right back. All right, sounds good. So I know where I. Well, apparently, Miss It Yusik likes my Hawaiian shirt. I have a whole collection of them.
So now that it's actually nice out in Calgary, I'm going to be able to bust them out pretty soon. Big fan of the floral shirts. While Naoto's grabbing that knife, I'm going to bore you guys with a little more news. I got a few more things to talk about here. Just a reminder that we're doing free sharpening for chefs in Calgary, Edmonton, Ottawa, and Vancouver. Bring your knives down to the shop. If you work in the industry, we know times are tough, so we will do your sharpening for free. If you can, bring them 2 at a time so we can keep up. But if you need them done in a bit more of a hurry, just ask nicely, and I'm sure the staff will make it happen for you. Next week, we've got some great streams coming up. Japanese Knife 101. We're talking about what knife to get your mom for Mother's Day. So if you haven't already got a Mother's Day gift, guess what? It's next week. It's in like 9 days. So don't forget to call your mom, get her some flowers, or get her a Japanese knife. Ask Chris and Kevin which one to get. And then Sharpening Night in Canada on Thursday. So we're changing up the format of that show a little bit. We want to do some more basic sharpening lessons because it's been over a year since we could do sharpening classes in our stores. So we're covering knife sharpening basics for the first half of the class. And then second half this week, we're going to cover how to sharpen petty knives and paring knives. What do you got there, Naoto?
James, are you watching?
This is for James Wang, hey?
Okay. Then, so it's kiridashi, 240, usuba.
Oh, wow.
I'm holding it with my bubble wrap so it doesn't get dirty. It's my hand.
James is a fan and says it even comes with a Curie box.
I know, but only thing is that it doesn't come with the saya. This doesn't have a saya. So just so you know.
That's good to know.
Alrighty, so
we do have a frequent viewer and fan in Montreal, I believe, Derek, who does make custom sayas. So if anybody needs one, shoot us a message and we can refer you to him.
Okay,
yeah, there's some love for this. Jared Cook says the shirt matches your stash. I don't even know how Hawaiian shirts match mustaches, but I'm a fan. Maybe does this mustache make me look like Tom Selleck? If you can convince my spouse of that, they'll be very happy because they like Tom Selleck very much. I appreciate it.
Alrighty.
You wanted me to remind him where to send complaints, just in case anybody's not having a good time and not enjoying all our nerding out. I have a caption here somewhere. Please send your complaints to Chris@knifewear.com. That's Chris with a K. Chris with a CH won't do shit. He'll probably just, he'll probably just fight you. But Chris with a K will take your complaints seriously. And yeah.
Yep.
Jared Cook's asking, when is the garage sale again? Jared just tuned in. Thanks for catching us, Jared. We had some great discussion today, so make sure you go back and watch the video after we're done. Where is the garage sale? Again, I've got a caption here I can pop up. May 17th to 24th on knifewear.com and in all 4 of our stores, except for Ottawa, because Ottawa, the store is closed right now, and we don't know when it's going to be reopening. It's just, government restrictions. We want to keep people safe. But yeah, knifewear.com. It starts at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. And as I've been saying, a lot of good stuff like that Shigefusa, it's going to go like in minutes, seconds even. So if there's something specific you want, be on the product page when the clock rolls over to 8 a.m. and just hit add to cart and like have a note open or have an autofill so you can just enter your credit card info and everything as quick as possible. I know it sounds like I'm a sleazy salesman, but stuff goes really quick on the garage sale, especially the cool stuff.
Especially one of a kind.
Especially one of a kind. And all those like custom handled knives that we're going to be getting. Those two. You're welcome, Jared. Yeah, mountain time. So Eastern time. No, it's going to be 10 Eastern time, I believe. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, believe so.
If Eastern time is the same, I'm sure Rob or someone can let us know what time, how far ahead Eastern time is. But
yeah, Eastern is the same
Eastern,
as and the
Eastern time is 2 hours ahead, so it'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, and that's a.m. That's in the morning on Monday, May 17th.
Yeah.
Thank you for confirming.
Yeah.
Yeah, James says the reason they got that knife was specifically for those beautiful steel patterns. I can see why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kyle's going to have to apply for a garage sale loan with all the gems showing up. I'm very grateful that I'm a staff member because I'm not allowed to buy anything until 6 p.m.
Yep.
6 p.m. on Monday.
Yep.
Blank says they got a Buck vintage in S30V. Yeah, those old Buck knives are great. I used to have one. I gave it to a roommate, but great knife, really great knife. Jared's asking, well, when's the garage sale? I already answered that, but I'm looking for a great bunka. Any good bunkas coming?
Yeah, we will have quite a few nice bunkas. The Nigara has the bunkas. I've got some. Again, wait until last minute. We'll have the website with all bunka, all the shapes there. I'm thinking. Think I got a bunka from new Hatsugokoro line with Hub 40. Hub 40 probably was bunka, or maybe a other one. But yes, we'll have quite a few bunkas.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. All right. Well, if anybody has questions, we've got, feel free to pop them in the last couple minutes there. But it's after 6, so that means Naoto has to go home.
I
got a tiny bit of beer left, and I got to grab myself another drink. So if anybody has any more questions they want to ask, please go for it. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. Please subscribe to our channel and like the video. It helps us out a ton. I'm going to blast through my news real quick. The Knifewear Garage Sale runs May 17th to 24th. It's the time of year when we bring in all sorts of unusual and unique knives from new makers, knives that we don't normally get to carry, scratch and dent, great deals, one-of-a-kinds, all sorts of cool stuff. Runs from the 17th to the 24th of May. It starts at 8 a.m. on knifewear.com. That's 8 a.m. Mountain Time, and it runs the entire week, 8 days long. It is happening in Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver in store. The Ottawa store is closed. That said, those stores will all have more limited supply. The best stuff is all going to be on our website because we want to keep people safe. We want to offer a fair opportunity to all our friends in other cities, in other countries, so on and so forth. So if there's something special you want, jump online at knifewear.com Monday morning. We're going to have streams, lots of streams leading up, even a couple bonus ones leading up to the garage sale and during the garage sale. On Monday, May 10th at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. It's our second episode of Sharp Knives Rock. We've got upgraded camera gear, upgraded streaming gear, lots of fun content. We've got a chopstick race challenge that the guys are going to be competing in. On the Tuesday, May 11th at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, it's Japanese Knife 101. They're going to do a garage sale preview, show off some of the knives, talk about the sale, talk about the story of how the sale got going. On the Friday, May 14th at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, we're going to have a preview from the warehouse. The whole gang will be there, at least Naoto, myself, and Kevin. We're going to be showing off more knives that'll be going on sale because a lot of it won't show up until that Friday. And then on Monday at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, we're having a marathon stream all day long, showing knives up close on camera. We'll have a high-definition camera. We'll be using the Sony for that, so it'll be really kind of high def in high detail. And then throughout the week, we'll have a few more streams. We'll have regular Japanese Knife 101, all that sort of thing. It's going to be lots of fun. Next week for streams, we have Japanese Knife 101, Tuesday, May 4th at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. What knife to get for Mother's Day. Sharpening Night in Canada, Thursday, May 6th at 7:15 Mountain Time. How to sharpen petty knives and paring knives. And then on Friday, we got a very special episode of Naoto's Nerd Hour. We're going to have, again, nicer camera gear, better streaming computer. I'm going to be there in the warehouse. And Naoto's going to be showing us how to refurbish knives, taking some of our old beat-up samples, cleaning them up, getting them ready to resell at the garage sale. So that'll be super-duper fun. And then we've got a new chip video on our YouTube channel, how to repair a chip knife. And it's Naoto teaching you how to remove the chip, keep the profile, thin the knife, sharpen the edge, blah, 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 all that sort of thing. And we're doing free knife sharpening for chefs in Calgary, Edmonton, Ottawa, and Vancouver. Bring your knives down to the shop. We know times are tough. We know you need some help, so we're going to sharpen your knives for free. Just bring them by. Oh, yeah, and then next week, I think we're getting a restock of Masakage knives, and we're getting some Atoma diamond plates real soon as well, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Anything I missed, Naoto?
No, that was fantastic. Thank you. I was basically listening. Yeah.
Right on. Otto's looking forward to the new camera and says, wash your hands. Yeah, wash your dang hands.
Yeah.
Christopher Lord, sneaking in at the end here. He's been watching the whole time, says, I've been practicing with my chopsticks. Watch out, Naoto. He's got that forbidden left-hand technique.
Right.
The forbidden left-hand style. Blank says, everyone have a great night. Thanks so much. Thanks to all the regulars and all the new people that tuned in. Fighting E6 says that was the slowest drunk beer ever. Yeah, Naoto's got to drive home, so he's got to pace himself.
Yep.
Cool. I think I got all. It's been over 2 hours. I'm writing an email to Chris. Do it. I dare you. Tell him how terrible we are. If he fires us, then we don't have to do this every week. We can do whatever we want.
Your question. Just let me know what you're looking for. Send us a, I know what's coming. Yeah. So what are you looking for?
Yeah, send an email, naoto@knifewear.com, naoto@knifewear.com. Or just, that's probably the best way.
Just hello at Knifewear. We can help you.
Hello, I guess that's for general inquiries. Hello@knifewear.com sends it to our help desk, and we've got the folks in the warehouse helping you out there.
But if you're looking for a specific one, because we got quite a few. Let's wait for a minute if he can type that.
Yeah, and, sounds good.
Otherwise, yeah.
Blank was saying it's a buck vantage, not a buck vintage. Well, I'm dyslexic, blank, so I'm doing my best. Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate it. Rob says, great stream. I'm even more excited for my kiridashi now. Have a great weekend, guys. Well, let us know how that kiridashi sharpening goes. Rob, I'll talk to you next week. He was gonna show me some USB microscope tricks and some ideas of how we could kind of even take our stream to the next level. Andrew is wondering, any koishi?
Yes. Koishi Tuten Gito Nakiri. 1 second. Tuten Gito Nakiri Petting 120. Honesuki Bunka Kobunka.
Wow,
I know.
That's great.
Santoku. Yes.
Nice.
Here you go, Andrew.
Chris Lord, you still watching? Fighting Yusuk wants to know if you know anything about Switzerland. I don't know. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. He did a whole episode on Switzerland. He should know a thing or two about it.
Yeah. So
all
Andrew,
right,
you leave your email address to our site for the
if you go to the knives you're interested in, there's a box that says notify me when available. If it's out of stock, press that button, put your email in there, hit whatever button comes up next. I don't know what that one is. And then, we'll send you an email as soon as they're in stock.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Thank you, Nathan.
No problem. I've done it many times. Well, I've done it for people many times.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks, Naoto. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Great.
Got any parting remarks for us?
No, it's good. It's good. Well.
Here. Apparently, we should stream from the second floor. It'll take us to the next level.
I don't know.
Joke's on you, blank. I'm already on the second floor. I'm actually on the second floor of my apartment, which is like the 5th floor of the building. So 5 steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
We got one last minute one. CB, lefty knives. I'm guessing they're asking if lefty knives are coming into the garage sale. If you're talking about sharpening, we could definitely cover that sometime. But any lefty knives coming for the garage sale?
We don't usually have the lefty knives for the garage sale. We do have the fair selection of the left-handed single-bevel knives on our website. At the Sakai Takayuki has the fair bit of the lefty knives there.
Gotcha. And if you want to learn how to sharpen left-handed knives, we will totally do that sometime, but not today because we're done.
Yep.
Show's over. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe. Wash your hands.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Happy Friday.